Nobody saw this coming. Not the Browns, not the fans, not even Shedeur Sanders himself, because what happened during that practice in Berea wasn't just a freak injury. It was the spark that lit the beginning of a brand new era. In seconds, everything changed. The quarterback battle that had gripped Cleveland, over. The whispers about who should start, gone. One Oklahoma fall, one devastating injury, and just like that, Shedeur Sanders became the face of the franchise. It wasn't supposed to happen this way. Dillon Gabriel had been in the fight of his life, battling tooth and nail for the QB1 crown throughout training camp. And honestly, he was holding his own. Matchup for matchup, throw for throw. Every reporter, every coach, every teammate saw what was shaping up to be one of the most intense preseason position battles the Browns have had in years. It started like any other morning at Browns camp. Full team drills, simulated pressure, quarterback rotation just like it's been for weeks. Then, in the blink of an eye, everything stopped. Dillon Gabriel, sprinting out of the pocket, tried to make a throw on the run. No defenders touched him, no flags were thrown, but the way he twisted midair, it didn't look right. He hit the ground and immediately grabbed his lower back. Players dropped to a knee, coaches went quiet, and the medical staff sprinted toward him. Everyone knew something had gone wrong, but no one realized how wrong it really was until later that afternoon, when the update dropped like a bomb. Severe back injury, herniated disc, surgery required. Gabriel's out for the entire 2025 season. No quarterback carousel, no back-and-forth decision-making. Just one defining moment and one undeniable outcome. Shedeur Sanders is the undisputed starter. The impact was immediate. Stefanski called an emergency press conference. His tone was somber, but the message was direct. Dillon's loss is devastating, but we have total confidence in Shadour to lead this football team. The QB race, the one reporters had dissected down to every throw percentage, was over before it ever really began. One fall, one bad twist, one open door, and just like that, Shadour went from challenger to cornerstone. This wasn't just a training camp injury. It was a sudden shift in the Browns' identity. And for a franchise known for quarterback questions, they just got an answer, wrapped in a storm of uncertainty. One injury, one press conference, one name now controls the future of the franchise. Just hours after Dillon Gabriel was ruled out for the season, head coach Kevin Stefanski stood in front of a microphone, visibly shaken, and made it official. We have complete confidence in Shedeur Sanders moving forward. No qualifiers, no competition, no we'll reassess, just clarity. And just like that, Cleveland's newest QB1 wasn't Flacco, wasn't a free agent, wasn't a stopgap. It was Sanders, the rookie, the heir to Dion's legacy. The spotlight magnet the franchise had tiptoed around for months, he's now in full command. What makes it even more surreal is that this wasn't the original plan. Stefanski had been hesitant to name a starter all camp. He wanted more reps, more tape, more time. But all of that disappeared with one scary fall during practice. And while the media scrambled to rewrite their storylines, the fans already had theirs ready to roll. Within minutes, Twitter, or what's left of it, was filled with hashtags like #ShadourSZN. College highlights resurfaced. Preseason throws got clipped and reposted. Analysts went live. Talk shows shifted topics mid-episode to break the news. The narrative didn't wait. It erupted. And what stunned everyone even more? How calmly Shadour embraced it. "This isn't how anyone wants to earn a job," he said straight-faced. "But I'm ready. Forget the flashing cameras. Forget the pressure." He was locked in. Shadour might not have won the job the way he imagined, but when the opportunity came, he didn't flinch. He stepped into that huddle like it already belonged to him. Sure, the injury sped things up, but anybody paying close attention to this Browns camp knew Shedeur Sanders was quietly closing the gap every single day. The decision may have felt sudden, but the performance? That's been speaking for itself. This kid didn't show up to develop slowly. He came in with intent. Every throw in preseason, every rep in camp, every extra film session, it screamed preparation. He looked organized in the pocket. He made smart reads. He got the ball out fast and accurate, even with second-string weapons. Pro Football Focus graded him the top-performing rookie quarterback in preseason. Adjusted completion rate? 78.3%. Passer rating from a clean pocket? 126.8. That's not raw athleticism. That's NFL-level execution. Still, the staff didn't rush it. They hid behind development timeline and just needs more experience. But ask any player in that locker room. They saw the shift happening. They saw how guys started gravitating toward him, how he'd take receivers aside after practice, how vets started to listen to him in meetings. He was already wearing the crown. No one just wanted to say it out loud yet. Now, they have no choice. Gabriel's injury ripped the safety net away, but the replacement wasn't scrambling. Shadour didn't need to shift gears. He was already in motion. For as much as this opportunity just happened, the truth is, Shedeur Sanders was building for this exact moment the entire time. It's impossible to talk about Shedeur Sanders without talking about Dillon. When your father is a Hall of Famer, an icon, a walking headline like Dillon Primetime Sanders, you don't just enter the NFL quietly. You step in with a spotlight already burning through the jersey. Every move Shadour makes comes with comparisons. Every throw is judged heavier. Every mistake plays louder. That's not pressure, that's legacy. And it's both a gift and a curse. Since draft day, he's been living in that shadow. But instead of shrinking from it, he's embraced it. Even now, after being thrust into the starting job by circumstances no one wanted, he's handling it with a calm most rookies never fake, let alone possess for real. Dillon's response to the news? Pure belief. My son has been preparing for this moment his entire life. Trust me, y'all ain't seen nothing yet. Short, simple, and filled with confidence only a father and a football great could deliver. But here's the thing. This isn't Dillon's game anymore. It's Shadour's. Same name, different path. In a city starving for a savior, he now has the chance to build something that's his and his alone. The pressure of being prime son will never go away. But that spotlight, it's starting to shift. Because day by day, throw by throw, leadership moment by leadership moment, Shedeur Sanders isn't being recognized because of his last name. He's being recognized because of what he's doing with it. The moment Shedeur Sanders was named the starter, everything inside that locker room changed. Not because it created drama, but because it started creating belief. You might expect a rookie stepping into a starting role to get quiet stares or guarded support. But in Cleveland, that's not what happened. From veterans to rookies, players are buying into Shadour fast. Take Joe Flacco, for example. A Super Bowl champ. A veteran who's seen just about everything a quarterback can go through in this league. Instead of distancing himself from the new guy, Flacco leaned in immediately. He's staying after practice. He's helping break down tape. He's mentoring. He sees things before they happen, Shadour said about Flacco. Having someone like that in your corner? Invaluable. Then there's Dillon Gabriel, the guy Shadour was battling with weeks ago. The same guy who could have gone cold after losing the job to injury. He texted him the second the announcement went public. Take the opportunity and run with it. I've got your back. That's not fake support. That's culture. And maybe for the first time in a while, the Browns QB room actually has it. Players like Amari Cooper and Nick Chubb have gone on record to back Shadour. He's got it, Chubb said. You can feel it when he steps into the huddle. Even offensive coordinator Ken Dorsey is all in. He's not just adjusting the playbook, he's building it around Shadour's strengths. You can't force buy-in. It either happens or it doesn't. And judging by how quickly that team has rallied around QB1, something very real is starting to form in Cleveland. For over 2 decades, the Cleveland Browns have been defined by one thing above all else: quarterback instability. Different names, different styles, different excuses, same results. But this moment feels different. It didn't come from a free agent splash or a blockbuster trade. It wasn't born out of desperation. It came from drafting a future, developing it quietly, and stepping into a new chapter when the opportunity appeared. And now, the Browns are all in. The playbook is being rebuilt, not tweaked, rebuilt to suit Shedeur Sanders. Ken Dorsey is adding QB rollouts, more play action, more off-script potential, quick decisions, designed runs, deep strikes. The offense is finally about unleashing talent, not just containing it. And unlike the rookies before him, Shedeur's not stuck with a bare-bones setup. He's got a legitimate supporting cast: Amari Cooper, Elijah Moore, rookie standout Javon Baker, Nick Chubb in the backfield, a reinforced O-line anchored by Wyatt Teller and Amarius Mims. This isn't a rebuild, it's a launch pad. And thanks to the flexibility gained from ending the Deshaun Watson era, the Browns have finally built real infrastructure around their rookie. No more asking a young quarterback to carry a broken team. Now, they've given him everything he needs to succeed. And more importantly, they're finally letting him lead. The Browns aren't just changing starters, they're changing direction. From reactionary to proactive, from hesitant to fearless, from filling time to building something long-term. And that shift could be the beginning of the most important storyline Cleveland's had in years. Forget easing in. Shedeur Sanders isn't getting a gentle NFL debut. Week 1, Baltimore Ravens. On the road, prime defense. Former MVP Lamar Jackson lined up on the other side. Talk about trial by fire. The Ravens don't just pressure quarterbacks, they feast on them. Exotic blitz looks, disguised coverages, speed off the edge. They specialize in making young quarterbacks look like rookies. And now, they'll be circling Shedeur like sharks. Welcome to the league. But here's the twist. That might be exactly what he needs. Because pressure, Shedeur has dealt with that his entire life. Spotlight, it's been on him since high school. And this moment, his first regular season start, isn't catching him off guard. It's what he's been preparing for since day one. His confidence? Quiet, controlled, but absolutely real. Pressure is a privilege, he said, echoing a lesson from his father. It means you're doing something that matters. And it does matter. Not just for him, but for a fan base trained to expect disappointment. For a franchise that's seen too many next guys flame out under expectations they were never ready to carry. Shedeur is different, not just in skill set, but in mindset. But that first test against Baltimore, it's not just about box scores. It's about how he commands the huddle, how he handles adversity, how he responds after the first sack, the first pick, the first 3rd and long with the lights hot. Because if Shedeur passes that test, Cleveland might start to believe again. Let's step back, because this isn't just about one quarterback swapping in for another. This is a reset the Browns desperately needed, and one they couldn't afford to mess up. The Deshaun Watson deal didn't just fail, it handicapped the franchise. Huge money, little return, and a locker room that felt hollow. But now, with Gabriel and Sanders on rookie deals and Watson off the books, the Browns finally have financial breathing room. ESPN's Field Yates reported the team saved nearly $28 million by rolling with young talent instead of clinging to aging contracts. And they're using it wisely, beefing up the O-line, loading up the secondary, and giving their new starter weapons most rookies never get. That's the strategy. But the real investment? Faith. Not just from the front office that drafted him, but from the entire city of Cleveland. Jersey sales are surging. Local restaurants are naming dishes after him. Stores are putting up hashtag #SandersEra signs, like it's election day. People are leaning in, not cautiously, but with genuine hope. And hope is something this fanbase hasn't had in a long time. Cleveland's been through too many broken promises under center. Too many, maybe he's the guy moments that faded by November. But Shadour feels different, not just because of his skill, but because of how the team is finally handling the moment. He's not being hidden. He's not being overexposed. He's being trusted. And that shift in tone, from doubt to belief, from damage control to development, that's bigger than one game. That's the beginning of a new identity. Here's the thing about football. Opportunity doesn't always knock. Sometimes it breaks the door down when no one's ready. Shedeur Sanders didn't take the Browns' starting job through hype or luck. He earned it with discipline, silence, and readiness. And when his moment came, he wasn't blinking, complaining, or overthinking. He stepped in like he knew it was always his. And sure, this wasn't the way anyone wanted it to happen. Dillon Gabriel didn't deserve to go down like that. The QB battle was real. The respect was mutual. But the NFL doesn't pause for pain. It moves fast. And Sanders, he's keeping up. The city has felt this before. Hope, hype, headlines. But this time, it's landing a little differently. Why? Because it's backed by substance. Shadour didn't just walk in with a famous name. He walked in with film, leadership, and quiet confidence. The kind of presence you build around, not babysit. The locker room believes it. The staff is leaning into it. The fans feel it. And if the front office is right, really right, this is the moment everything starts to change. No more recycled promises. No more overpaid bridges to nowhere. No more passing the blame up the chain. Now it's on Shadour, and finally, it feels like that's a good thing. So whether you followed him since high school or just started Googling his college highlights this morning, one thing's now crystal clear. The keys to Cleveland's future aren't up for grabs anymore. They've already been handed over. The Sanders era has officially begun.